Hello, folks, and welcome back to the long-awaited return of Skep's Unnamed Deck Showcase. Now that the ban list has gone live and the best deck in the format is another deck that has a skill that plays itself, we are going to take a look at the savior of Duel Links, the only deck you actually need to play good cards to win, with a twist. This time we're playing bad cards in it. So without any further ado, I am going to show to you Lightsworn Orcust. So here we are with the deck, and if you've seen my latest video on the channel before this one, you'll know that this is more or less the list I said I would be playing after the ban list went up, because you can no longer play 2 copies of Charge and 3 Orcust Nightmare or any form of Limit 3 staples, because now Orcust has both a card at the Limit 3 slot and Limit 2 slot now, in addition to their Limit 1 slot, meaning Orcust joins the ranks of those truly degenerate decks in Duel Links history that have a card of their archetype at one of every slot on the Forbidden and Limited list. We even have Mermaid Band, which was basically for Orcust, so I guess we have a band card, a limited card, a semi-limited card, and a Trini-limited card, all in one archetype, which is very funny. Let's go over the card by card to sort of explain how the deck works, beginning, of course, with our skill. Majestic Light operates as basically a way to mulligan a tuner in our hand. Another reason we're playing 3 copies of Brass Bombard, a bad Orcust, because we return 1 tuner in our hand to play Majestic Dragon from outside of our deck. Majestic Dragon is half of a Galatea, so if we hard draw Harp Horror and Bombard, or Harp Horror and Light Brigade, or Harp Horror and Raiden, we just get to summon the Majestic Dragon for free, normal summon Harp Horror, and that is full combo. Additionally, Charge of the Light Brigade is just the best mill tool we have still available to us in Duel Links. So getting to mill an Orcust off of that while adding a Raiden to your hand just lets you normal summon Raiden to get 5 mills instead of 3, and then you can still perform your combo if you have milled a Harp Horror. Of course, that does leave our mills to chance, which is unfortunate. I think they should have probably unlimited Scrap Recycler on this ban list, because pure Orcust I don't think was ever actually doing anything unfair. It was always just better to be playing other Orcust decks. I think this deck was hit a little too hard, given that it was only really broken when you were playing it in Odd Eyes, as is sort of the case with Magistus being just a penis archetype on its own, but is now probably the best way of playing Pendulum. I don't think Orcust on its own was a problem, but that's not what this video is about, so we can move on now. On the next card on our list, we're going to talk about the 1 Orcust Nightmare. The reason we're not playing 25 cards is because I don't want to draw additional cards that don't do my combo. If we get Orcust Nightmare in hand, we can send Brass Bombard to summon it from hand. So it's not like drawing this card is bad, because we have ways of getting it out of our hand now, which we didn't have ways of doing previously. And I want more chances to draw our draw spell, because we are playing a lot of Orcust names. I want a higher chance to draw Harp Horror, and I want a higher chance to draw a tuner, and I want a higher chance to draw Charge of the Light Brigade, which we now only get to play 1 of, so we've gone down from 30 to 22. 1 copy of Symbol Skeleton, I might consider going up to 2, but I mean, this card, all it is another name for return, which is nice, but it also doesn't do anything. Like, genuinely, from a starting hand position, it is better to discard Brass Bombard than Symbol Skeleton, because you might have an Orcust in your hand that you can summon, whereas with Symbol Skeleton, if the first thing you do is activate Return and you discard Skeleton and draw into another Orcust, you can't do anything with that. So this is the most integral Orcust to your inboard, but it is also probably the least important and worst one to draw outside of, I guess, World 1. But you got to play World 1 to recycle your 1 of Nightmare, so it's not really like you can cut this for a second symbol. Speaking of course, we're playing on the 1 World 1 and the 1 Symbol. Very good cards, do not cut them. And the 3 Brass Bombard, which does come up. You can normal summon this, link it off for Link Karibo, banish it to summon a Orcust from your hand, or you can just return it to your hand, which is most often what I do, to summon the Majestic Light for free, normal summon a Orcust Harpor and then make Galatea. You'll see that play later in the games. One copy of Orchestrated Babel, the lifeblood of your inboard, and 3 copies of Orchestrated Return because we really want to be drawing cards in this deck. You could potentially cut this to 2, but I kind of like it. Unfortunately, the type of card you're drawing is much less potent than it was before, so it's not as good, but it is still a way to get something like a Harpor in the grave because you only really need your normal summon to make Galatea. So potentially getting to discard Harpor off of Orchestrated Return is a good way to start your plays. It's basically an alternative to Majestic Dragon plus normal summon. Harpor plus Orchestrated Return normally gets you to your linear combo, just like Majestic Dragon plus normal summon Harpor does that as well. For our supplemental engine, we're playing 1 copy of Charge of the Light Brigade as the best mill option afforded to the deck, and 3 copies of Raiden. If you already mill an Orcust off of your charge, you get to normal Raiden and mill another 2 cards, so that is not bad. It's definitely not as good as Scrap Recycler. I mean, pretty obviously, if Scrap Recycler was legal, I would be playing Scrap Recycler probably over this. The nice thing is that Raiden combos with Majestic Light because unlike Recycler, it is a tuner. So maybe I would keep playing this deck. I do quite like this deck when it pops off, but it is unfortunately less consistent than you want it to be because your normal summon isn't an Armageddon Knight. Onto the staples, we're just playing 3 copies of Forbidden Chalice because I want a way to negate Link monsters go in second, and Book of Moon doesn't let you do that. Book of Moon is very strong, but I valued the Chalice. So that's the main deck. All in all, it's pretty nice. I think with the exception of I don't know if World Wand was in Judgment Force, but I think basically all of these cards are in the Judgment Force pack, so it is just kind of nice that you don't have to go into any additional pack except for the old cards, which are in half-off boxes or that you can get with bundle deals, which is kind of nice. Not that that means the deck is cheap, because look at our extra deck. We're playing 2 copies of Galatea and 2 copies of Dingirsu. I do believe in... if they don't show up in this video, there were games in which I did use the second Galatea to overlay into the second Dingirsu, so I could use the first Galatea to make a Nightmare Unicorn while keeping another Dingirsu in grave to revive on my opponent's next turn. So I do think you probably need to play both of these Orcust URs at 2 in this list. 1 copy of Link Karibo for the situation where you need to normal summon a Majestic Dragon or a Brass Bombard, banish it to summon an Orcust from your hand, or just to put a Dark Monster on your field if you need one. It's just, in situations where you can't activate the skill, the best way to make Galatea off of a Brass Bombard. 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix as the best utility Link in the game and our only non-dark Link monster. 1 copy of Decode Talker, part of our best case inboard, where you will make a Decode Talker pointing to Dingirsu to save your Orchestrated Babel from Cosmic Cyclone, while putting it in the graveyard to banish Orcust Symbol Skeleton and revive Ding as another form of removal, also turning your Decode Talker back on if you summon it back at Link Point. We've got 1 copy of Nightmare Unicorn as spot removal and the best utility Dark Link in the game. So that is it for the deck. I hope you're looking forward to these games. I'm looking forward to showing them to you. Let's take a look at some replays. Game number 1 here, going to be up against Zone on the Time Lords. Very fantastic, wonderful, and interesting deck. 4 cards in the extra deck, so you already know this is going to be a high quality and competitive game. I wanted to show this off because the beginning of the duel is incredibly funny. They're going to activate their skill to set the infinite, whatever that's called, Empty Machine, Infinite Light, and then set 1 card and pass. We're going to activate our skill, shuffling back Majestic Dragon for Majestic Dragon, activate the Charge of the Light Brigade. They're going to chain Infinite Machine, and then we are going to add Raiden to our hand. Because we have Orchestrated Return, I'm going to discard the Harp. They're going to chain Infinite Light. Very funny. They got their full combo off immediately, and we're going to see if we can't play through that. Obviously, it's not super difficult, but it is very funny. Their mech lords, their Time Lords are going to be prevented from being targeted, which does stop my Unicorn from targeting it, but we do have Chalice, so we'll see what we can do about killing them. We are going to normal summon Raiden to mill another 2 cards. Then we are going to Link Summon Galatea. You'll see we have Book of Moon here. That was because I was playing 25 originally. So I took that out because my deck just wasn't doing what I wanted it to as consistently, so I played less cards to make it more consistent, and it worked out. We're going to make Nightmare Unicorn here, and we are going to shuffle back the back row. Then we're going to banish the Symbol Skeleton to bring back Galatea, to make Dingirsu Orcust of the Evening Star, to send their 4,000 attack monster. We're going to banish the What's-His-Face to summon Nightmare. They're going to activate Chalice to negate the effect of that monster to allow us to destroy it, deal damage, and inflict the finishing blow with Dingirsu. Moving on to Game 2 here, we have a Playmaker and I on Code Talker rather than any of the other assorted garbage that Playmaker is known for with his 3 effects skill. They're going to activate Storm Access. I did not see that in the matchup. We are going to we're going to brick, folks. This is a really bad hand. Luckily, what's the worst that Code Talker can do? Going first, they're going to Widget Kid into Lady Debug to search Microcoder. They're going to link off Microcoder and Debug for Code Talker. Code Talker is going to activate from the graveyard, searching then that Signet Mining. They're going to activate that Signet Mining, discarding C Archiver to add Cyber's Gadget. They're going to link off for Encode Talker, and now they can pass. So we have to draw anything good. We draw the worst card in our deck. We're going to Majestic Light, normal summon Raiden. We just got to mill Harpor, and we don't. We really fucking don't. We're going to make Link Karibo, and we're going to pass. Oh, we milled Harpor. So once they pass it back to us, we'll definitely win. They're going to normal summon Cyber's Gadget, chain C Archiver. I'm going to Forbidden Chalice, hoping that does literally anything. They're going to link off, rather, for an Update Jammer, and that's the end of the game, folks. If they make Update Jammer, they just need to make one more link. They can attack twice and finish me off. They're going to make Power Code Talker, and we are all the way out of the races. They're going to target our Link Karibo. I figure that I can't activate the effect, and they kill me. Alrighty, another Playmaker and I here, and the last of our ladder replays. We're going to be going second once again. Our opponent is on Crusadia. They're going to go through the Crusadia motions, very interesting. They're going to Crusadia Arborea into Magius. Magius will add a Crusadia card after Maximus is summoned at its link point. They're going to make Regulex. Remember when they didn't release this card and we're like, why didn't you release this card? And then they released it in a different box. You had to buy a different box. They're going to add Crusadia Crawler to hand. Very funny that this deck is playing this. They're going to set 3 cards and activate 3 effects. How freaking fascinating. We're going to draw Brass Bombard. That is wonderful. We're going to summon the Majestic Dragon. We're going to activate a Majestic, what's-his-face? We're going to mill the Babel, which is not good. And we're going to mill our Draw Spell and Skeleton. So we've basically accomplished nothing. We are going to... They're going to add World Legacy Succession to their hand, rather. We're going to normal summon our Brass Bombard because it will allow us to summon the Orcust from our hand if we didn't discard it. That's a lie. I keep forgetting that you can't summon World Wand. We are going to Symbol Skeleton back the Bombard. We're going to make Galatea the Orcust Automaton. We're going to summon back Symbol Skeleton. We're going to shuffle back the Wand to set the spell face down. We are going to make Dingirsu Orcust of the Evening Star. And then they're going to discard, or they're going to tribute What's-His-Face to negate our effect. I don't know why you did that. They're going to, we're going to discard the skeleton, and by that I mean we're going to send the skeleton from the field to draw 2 cards. They're going to protect their Maximus with the effect of Arborea Engrave. Now it is their turn again. They've special summoned Draco. We cannot allow that to resolve, but they have Crusadia Power, the in-theme Lance that is better than Lance because it also stops monster effects. They're going to add Maximus to their hand. They're going to normal summon Maximus, and that was a really stupid thing that they did because they made none of their other monsters able to attack, and they didn't link for anything. So their monster didn't gain any additional attack, and we can protect Ding, and it's in the graveyard now. Very interesting. We're going to mill 2 cards, activate the effect of Babel Engrave to add itself back to hand. We're going to link off for Galatea, the Orcust Automaton number 2. This is why you play 2 of that. We're going to make the other Galatea, the Orcust Automaton, going to bring back the Galatea again. Then we're going to make the second Dingirsu. This is another reason why you play 2 Dingirsu, and I don't kill them this turn because I'm running out of time. I could have made the Unicorn, but that didn't end up mattering. They're going to set a card and pass. We are going to banish Brass Bombard to summon the What's-His-Face from hand, Orchestrated Return, make Nightmare Unicorn, just because I do not want to run into that again, and then we get to bring back our Dingirsu, but again, I'm running out of time, so I just go to battle and kill them into the sun. All right, enough baby time doo-doo decks. The next two matchups of the video are going to be up against Meta, playing against Mechlord in a duel room, so I could curate the matchups and play only what I wanted to showcase. And we're going to be playing against Destiny Hero first. We are going first, shuffling back Raiden to summon the Dragon, activate Charge of Light Brigade, and mill 2 copies of Harp Horror and a World Wand. That's exactly where we want to be. We're going to normal summon Raiden, mill a Brass Bombard, banish the Brass Bombard to get Skeleton out of our deck. If we didn't mill the Brass Bombard, we would have summoned it off of the Harp Horror, so we could summon Skeleton from our hand and get it in the graveyard that way, so we wouldn't have needed to go through Nightmare with this particular hand. We're going to make Decode Talker and do the standard play of banishing Symbol Skeleton, revive Galatea, shuffle back the Brass Bombard to set the Babel, and then we are going to activate, and by activate, I mean we are going to Exceed Summon Dingirsu, Orcust of the Evening Star, attaching Symbol Skeleton and activating Babel and passing turn. If we drew Chalice, that'd be another form of interaction. This is why we make Decode Talker. Oh, they drew the second Cosmic Cyclone. How incredibly interesting. What an excellent format we have. We're going to banish all of our Orcust and get all of their effects off, just so we can get as many relevant interactions as possible. So now we have Dingirsu and we have targeting protection. They're going to activate Destiny Effect and let the deck play itself for a little bit. Both of us are just sort of passed out and fallen asleep at this point, and whatever happens is what the game wants to happen here. They're going to Fusion Summon into Destiny Hero Dystopia, the only play that this deck can make with its skill, unless you hard draw other stuff. But who needs to draw other stuff when you have the yellow button? We're going to protect our little guy just in case they have any targeting effects in their back row. I want to leave these two on field so I can link summon immediately into Nightmare Phoenix at Decode's link point. We contribute the Phoenix if we want to. We're going to do that to protect our Decode Talker. So now we just have to play through one more piece of back row. We'll see what we can do here. We're going to make the Symbol Skeleton effect, and then we're going to negate the Chained Dystopia to protect Decode Talker. They're going to crack down. I debate letting it resolve, and I end up letting it resolve because I want... The idea is that I'm going to send the crackdown, and then I can use the Galatea for Nightmare Unicorn, completely not realizing I don't have any cards in my hand to discard. So we just do a little goofy thing. We're gonna set the what's-his-face, and at this point I realize, oh wait, I can't make Nightmare Unicorn and have that worth anything. So we're just gonna make Dingirsu, and then we're gonna activate Dingirsu to send the what's-his-face. Gonna beat over Galatea and kill them immediately with our big man. What a weird game. Moving swiftly on to the last match of the video, we are going to be playing against Odd Eyes Magistus. It's not even really accurate to call it Odd Eyes. It is Pendulum Magistus. With Pendulum Magicians serving a 5-card Magistus engine to let Pendulum end on a quick effect Snatch Steal. What an excellent time to be playing Duel Links. We're going to shuffle back Brass Bombard for Majestic Dragon. We already have a Harp Horror in Grave, I believe, so we're going to do our Lightsworn play of milling cards, normal summoning, mill some more, banish the Harp Horror to summon the Skeleton. Then we are going to make Galatea the Orcust Automaton, shuffle back Harp Horror, set the copy of Orcust Return, which we can't activate because I think we already used one this turn. We're going to make Decode Talker, banish Symbol Skeleton, revive Galatea. There is Dingirsu, Orcust of the Evening Star, with what's-his-face attached, and no Babel. How interesting. So they're going to activate Pendulum Call, and then just let their eyes glaze over as the deck plays itself. So we all know what this does here. We can fast forward. Can they beat my epic 0 forms of interaction? I sure hope so. Noble Dragon to hand, special summon a bunch of cards from hand, Noble Dragon Magician, and then they're just going to make Trishula Zero Dragon of the Ice Barrier, which doesn't target, nor does it destroy. And now they have lethal. Oh, they get to normal summon Skullcrobat too. How fucking epic. What an incredibly cool format you've given us, Konami. This shit is just wonderful. I really feel good about being able to play this format. And maybe they're going to miss because they don't have lethal. Oh, they have lethal again. Okay. So we're back with the deck, and luckily it basically functions at the same power level as it did before the ban list, arguably a little lower because we don't have pieces of the Trinity to play. For those of you that don't know, this deck was not playing a Scrap Recycler in the first place, so it always got to play the busted trap cards. But Charge of the Light Brigade and Raiden are still excellent pieces of synergy with the deck. Majestic Light setting you up half a Galatea in a format in which you no longer get to make Nightmare Mermaid off of any 2 names in the game is very nice. So I think there is a reason to consider this as a good version of pure Orcust. But then you come up against the question, why would you play this over Gandora Orcust? And the only answer I can come up with is that you don't have to pull for multiple URs and SRs for the gadget engine. Other than that, I think this deck is probably past its prime, but not necessarily because it's weak, but because it's not as consistent as it needs to be, and it doesn't have a skill that plays the deck for you like all the best decks in the format seem to. It's in a bit of a rough spot in that position, but any day I get to play Orcust is a good day in my book. And if you agree, this might be a good Orcust deck for you to try out for your ladder climbs. It is definitely still, at the very least, King of Games worthy. So that's that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was nice to make another one of these again. My internet's been kind of fucky recently, so I haven't been able to stream as much, and not being able to stream has really killed my motivation for doing a lot of online content creation, but I'm trying my best to get back into it, so please look forward to a couple new Unnamed deck showcases from me in the coming couple of days and weeks, and I might try to make a little more Pokemon content as well, because I have been wanting to play Battle Stadium singles some more. That being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Continue to enjoy my content. Please consider liking and commenting on the video. It does help my channel in the eyes of the algorithm. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.